All right, we are live. We are live, baby. So what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Kava Club podcast. You guys already know who I am. My name is Will. I'm the host of this show. I'm very excited today. I am very, very excited to have this very special guest, one of my Polynesian sisters, all the way from Utah, baby. I know there's this common perception that people from Utah are kind of boring, but I know everybody. I know she has an interesting story, so I'm really excited to hear her story. I know she has a lot of fire to share, everybody. But for everybody that's watching for the first time, I wanted to say thank you for watching, and please show some love and support. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody out there that's been supporting my journey and my podcast, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all the appreciation and support. And also, I would definitely love to hear all of you guys' feedback. So as you guys watching, please, any thoughts, any feedback you want to share, please drop some comments below. But nevertheless, I'm excited. I'm ready to get back to this podcast. I'm very excited for her to share her story. But I'll let her introduce herself real quick. So go ahead. It's all you.
Hi. Thank you so much, Will, for having me on your podcast. I think it's such an honor for him to even consider me to be on here. I love the platform that he's given to all the Polynesian people out there. I think it's amazing. But I'm Noelani Mateaki. I'm 27 years old, and I am Samoan and Tongan, and I'm from Utah, as Will said. I was born in Hawaii. I grew up a little bit in Hauula, but I grew up mostly here in Provo, Utah. So,
what's up? You're ready
Hi.
to go? I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm excited to have you share your story. And like I said, thank you for taking the time again. Once again, very grateful for the opportunity and taking the time to do this. And I'm ready to put Utah on the map. I know Utah doesn't have a really good fun
doesn't
image,
have
but
a good rep. No,
a good rep. But I know after this, everybody's gonna love Utah.
We'll see. Maybe they're like, oh, yep, they suck.
All right, but let's get back into it. But like I said, the very first question I'm gonna ask you is, how did you grow up?
So I grew up a little bit in Hawaii. I was born in Kahuku, and I was raised a little bit in Hauula. Growing up, my childhood, it was a little bit rough. Going to school, I was bullied a lot by my peers, and I think
what are you bullied for?
So growing up, my whole life, I always struggled with my weight. So, and I was kind of a weird kid too. So I was very unique. I just wasn't like the other kids, and I just looked different. I was just not like, I don't know, I wasn't well perceived by the kids around me. I was bullied relentlessly, and it was kind of a struggle. But there were still some great kids there. They ended up being my friends. We're still friends to this day. The kids that bullied me, I have no ill will towards them, but it was hard growing up. I didn't really have a lot of friends growing up, but the friends I did have, they were definitely true friends. They accepted me for who I was, and kind of looked past my differences. So.
The people that bullied you, was it Polynesians, or was it like other kids?
It was mostly the Polynesian boys. They would just, oh man, it would get so bad. Anyone that was, I don't know, just kind of different, they would just kind of go after. And sorry, remembering it, I was like, oh.
No, I got you.
I got put back there for a second. It was like, oh. I would get like scared to go to school, and I used to pray like, oh, please don't let him bully me today. And the days where he did it, I was like, oh, thank you, God. He's like, he's a realist. but yeah, I was bullied a lot growing up, and
Okay.
it was hard. But, um, but yeah, that was my childhood. But it was good and bad. I then moved to Provo, Utah,
Mm-hmm.
and I did school a little bit here. It was pretty much the same thing, I just being the fat kid in school, it's no fun. It's not the greatest.
Yeah.
You're never gonna be, perceived well. But coming here to Provo, Utah, I met I call her my sister, but she's my cousin. That's her right there.
Okay.
And when I first met her, I was like, it was like this light went off in like my life. I was like, oh my gosh, because she was, she was big like me, but she was so loved by everyone because she was like the typical, like she was funny. She was a funny Polynesian. She was just well loved by everybody. And so I always want to be like her. And she like accepted me with open arms. We became best friends. And I think she really boosted my, I don't know if this is dark to say, but like my will to live, because it was getting a little, rocky there.
Yeah.
Just with all the just constant bullying and
Yeah.
harassment, and even from like my own peers. I was like, man, y'all are supposed to be the
Yeah.
ones
Like
to be
support
there for me.
yeah, the biggest supporters,
But
right? Yeah.
yeah, but she was like my ride or die, and yeah, she really helped me through some of my hardest times. Let's see. But yeah, that was growing up. Let's see, elementary all the way to middle school to high school. It was this constant, struggle, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, high school, I met some of my really great friends. They were let's see. Sorry, well, I have to like think about it. I'm old. I have to like think about
no, you're good.
what
So
happened.
I have a question for you. So
Yes.
because I know bullying is something that happens a lot, and and then it happens. And I have a younger siblings. I did I get? I'm trying. I got verbal. I got made fun of. But for me, I think it wasn't really as harsh. But I do know I have a lot of friends and younger family members that do get bullied. And I've had some people on this podcast, and I just kind of want to open this up real quick and talk about it real quick, since I know there might be a lot of people watching this, and then they might just going through the same thing that they're going that you probably went through.
Yeah.
Look back at it now. Like I'm sure that being bullied as a kid had a big impact to your personality and who you are today. I get pretty right. So looking back at it now, like what would you, if you had to go back and talk to your younger self when when you at that time when you were bullying, like what would you say to her if you had to do that?
I would, well, first of all, I would tell her it gets better. Like, I promise you, like, it will get better. You just gotta, go through the days. And just one of the biggest things, because my dad liked to teach us a lot of lessons, and he knew what I was going through. And his thing, which at the time I was like, I don't know about that, but he would just always tell us, like, everyone is going through something, nobody, like some people, they're not going to tell everyone about their struggles. Like, everyone has things that they are not doing good with, they're dealing with inside. And sometimes they just don't pick the healthiest outlet to take it out on. And so sometimes I just had to think, you know what, he must be just going through something. Don't take it personal. It was really hard, but it's just what I had to think of. Like, I remember in middle school, I just thought of this. There's this these group of girls in my church actually. And
wait, as of right now, or no, back then?
No, this is back then. Yeah, I was like, oh man, if it was now, that would be a different story. But I just, because I was looking through my emails the other day and I found this, and I remember back in middle school they would send me emails of just the meanest things. Like I was reading through them like last month, and it kind of like cut me. I was like, oh my gosh, these girls are mean. And I don't know. I'm just not the type though to like, oh, what, you said that about me, like I'm gonna come fight you. It would just it would like, I don't know, for me, because I was I was in like, I don't know, I guess like normal Polynesian, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they looked down upon me, and they would send me these horrible emails, and I would just kind of keep it secret. I was always embarrassed. I was like, wow, I'm really out here getting bullied. But I remember like, what was it? It was at like a camp. Was it like the ward camps?
Oh yeah.
And they were there, and I like, it was so out of my character, but I was like, you know what, like I'm tired of this, like I'm gonna talk to them. I was like, hey, like what's up, like why do you guys do this, like why do you guys send me hateful emails and blah blah blah. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry, like we just don't, we're mad about something, but we're so sorry, like blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, like, but I don't know, they just like swept it under the rug. And I do feel like people will attack you, through undercover ways, but when it's like in real life, face to face, it's like they'll freeze up and they'll be like, that's right, I bullied you. Or
they're Twitter warriors, they just
back in, I guess the Twitter beef was over emails.
email warriors, the email warriors.
And so it just, I don't know, I was like mad, but also just confused. And I think that's where I really saw like social media can be toxic. Like you just way back in the day, it just kind of gives people that like how do you say, like something to hide under, to just attack you. And so
it's like a mask. It's like they can hide behind that mask.
Like a
mask.
Hide
behind the computer. They hide behind the computer.
Yeah, but then it's like when you confront face to face, it's a very different story.
Yeah.
And I found that out. But sorry, I felt like I went off topic.
So like I mean, like I said, looking back at it, to your former self when you were going through it, what would you say to your younger self if you had a chance, when you were going through that bullying, what would you say to, knowing what you know now and being the woman you are today, if you had a chance to go back to talk to your former younger self, what would you say to her?
I would definitely, as I said, I would tell her, it gets better. Just, just stay with your family, because they were the ones who like held me down. They were like my only friends, sadly. Yeah. And I would just tell her that I'm very proud of her for not kind of doing it to other people as well. Because I feel like people who bully, they were bullied themselves. Whether it was in their family or amongst, their own peers. So, like that, everyone's going through something. You just can't take it too personally, I guess.
I mean, that's always, I think I did kind of, did some research on bullying a long time ago. I remember that's always the case, people that bully. So for everybody out there that's getting bullied right now, kind of wondering like, why is these like, why are these people doing it to me? It's just, I mean, I know, when people bully, they're hurt people. They were, like you said, they were actually bullied themselves at home, or they're not getting attention at home or from their own home, and so like they need some they need to hurt other people to feel good about themselves or give validation. But for the most part, bullies are insecure. Because if you're secure, if you're confident who you are, you don't need to belittle other people to feel good about yourself. If you love yourself, confident who you are. But so just to let you know, like, there's nothing wrong. If anybody's watching this right now and you're getting bullied, there's nothing wrong with you. I just want to put it out there.
No.
You know, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. There's a problem with them. You know, they might make it seem like you're the problem and you're different. No, there's nothing. You're beautiful and perfect just the way you are right now. It's just they have their own issues, and they're just taking out on you. So I just want, you know, kids out there that's listening, or people, you know, even adults can still get bullied. Shoot.
No, like you said, Twitter wars. Like I saw one. I was like, oh my gosh, this gets crazy. But yeah, I think I would tell my former self that too. Like, nothing is wrong with you. Because I still struggle with this, but I thought something was so wrong with me. I was like, what? Like, there must be, because everyone keeps like going crazy, and you know, I must be doing something wrong, or something is just wrong with me for, you know, this to keep happening. But yeah, I would tell her there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you will survive this.
Yeah. All right. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, I you know, sucks for me. You know, I hate when, for me, it doesn't make sense. Well, I guess we're, you know, when we're younger, it's like, you know, we kind of lack the maturity. But I just don't understand when you go, you know, we go older, and, you know, when we're adults, and then I still see other Polynesians bully other Polynesians. I just never understood that fact that, like, why would you like belittle your own people? Like, you know, that's like, you know.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, I don't know. I think it just starts at home. Like,
yeah,
like you said, like, we need to have those conversations, like those tough conversations, like, you know, treat other people the way you want to be treated, especially your own people. Like, we gotta stick together, you know. Like, hold each other up, lift each other, you know, because yeah, like I love when we succeed and when we thrive, and it also hurts my heart. Like, yeah, I usually see it on like social media, like people bully other people for their accomplishments, or just like they just have a different opinion, and they just get brutal. And it's sad.
Yeah. I know for me, it's like, you know, whenever somebody tries to bully me today, or they say something negative, you know, or, you know, really hurtful, because I always like to use like my mind and my humor to defeat that. So
yeah,
so because I know, you know, people bully, either got bullied, or they're like they have a lack of self-esteem, they're getting hurt. So whenever somebody tries to like say something hurtful towards me, or they try to bully me, I always like kind of use the reverse psychology of like, hey man, you need a hug? You need your parents not.
yeah,
You need a hug,
yeah.
bro? Like, you need a
Right
hug?
back.
I'm here for you, man. You know, like, did you get,
Yeah.
you know, did somebody touch you? You know, you just like, I was, and like you just see like their face. They're like they don't know, you know, just the reaction of their face, because, you know, what I'm saying is true, because I know they're, you know, I know they're going through their own struggle. But for me, that's, I mean, I kind of use my like my mind and humor to like, if you know,
I feel like we're good at that. Like, we use humor to kind of go through trauma, I guess. Because huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just like with my sister that I met here, like, she taught me that very well. Like, humor is a huge just coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And it does work, you know, when you can laugh at your like own, you know, problems, or just kind of like laugh your way through things. I think it kind of mentally helps you at the same time. But I think we have to be careful not to like humor it away, so that it just kind of like subdues itself inside you, or like bottle it up.
It's a good way to cope with it, but it's not it's a temporary, but it's not the permanent solution to, like, because we gotta let go of all the things that we struggle with. But for everybody out there's bullying, just let you know, nothing wrong with you. You're beautiful, and I think the best thing we can tell them is just like make sure you surround yourself with some good people. Find some good people and just cling with them. And if you have a brother or sister that can beat everybody up,
Get that with you.
Get that. If you have that hand in hand, if you have it lying around in your household, then holla at your sister. No, I'm just joking. I don't want any violence.
Or like I think even finding like another healthy coping mechanism. Like I used to, like, I was a nerd. I still am. Like I play a ton of video games just to kind of like get my mind off of like the stress of the world, or like the things I'm just they're kind of hurting me inside. So I just, I'll draw, play video games, read. So I think just finding like healthy outlets for you.
And that's absolutely true. That's a good point. Because if you find something, if when you go through bullying, like and you go through like mental health issues and depression, like the worst thing to do is like don't do anything and just stay in your room and kind of dwell on all those negative thoughts. The best thing to do is kind of find, like you said, find an outlet and do something. That's kind of reflected what my own childhood. I remember growing up as a kid, like I was skinny as a kid. I was hella skinny. So all the guys in my family were pretty big, pretty tall. So I was skinny. So I used to get made fun of being skinny. So I guess I think about it now. I struggle with that, but then I found football. So I was like, oh man, I found that outlet, and then I just put my energy into that, and then worked on myself and got better, got bigger and stronger, and then that helped me overcome that. So I guess I think that's a great point from your standpoint. Like if you're going through some tough times right now, find something to do that kind of help you grow as a person, and also take your mind away from all that negativity. And then some healthy outlets. Healthy outlets.
Eating was actually one of my outlets, obviously. So I kind of took that to the extreme, and so I had to calm down. So but yeah.
All right. So okay, so I know you grew up. So can you talk about your experience growing up within the culture? As a Polynesian woman. I know you did mention you're a Mormon as well. The dynamic as well. So can you just grow up? What was it like for you growing up as a Polynesian woman? And what were the challenges? Because I know sometimes I know based on my previous podcast with a lot of Polynesian women. When Polynesian woman, there's a lot of expectations that's kind of expected out of you, So I'm just interested to hear your experience being a Polynesian woman. What was great for you, what was challenging for you, and also your experience with your religion as well. How the things you went through. So can you share some of that?
Yeah. So I grew up Mormon, but it wasn't the greatest experience for me. I struggled a lot, just kind of like believing in what they were teaching, just because like the people around me weren't really like practicing what they preach, and
gotcha.
Yeah, and so just gotta think for a second, sorry. I do think like as a Polynesian woman, you're just kind of expected to kind of believe what you're taught, and just not really question it, just grow old in the church, and the struggles you have, just because I remember I had so many questions. Like my faith was not the best. I didn't have a testimony, and every time I would ask about it, they would just look at me confused and be like, what? Like, you should just know, you should just believe. So they'd always tell me, like, just go pray about it. And I just, they never gave me like, real advice and real help. I think my dad, he always taught me really good lessons. I feel like he was kind of non-traditional in the sense, because like I know a lot of my friends and my cousins who are Polynesians, like they always tell like, oh yeah, you have such a Palangi dad. I was like, well, yes, but yes, but I had my one friend, she'd tell me like, I'm so jealous, like because I don't know, I feel like I might have been ignorant to this because I didn't know this, but she would tell me like, oh yeah, like my dad always expects us to get the stuff and my brothers are standing right there, and I'm like, that's like whack, you know. And I do think like poly women are always expected to do more, and I know they just have this, what am I trying to say?
I mean, for you, like in your experience, like what was the hardest thing of growing up within the Polynesian culture and trying to find yourself of being the woman you are today? Like, what was the hardest thing for you in the growing up as a Polynesian woman?
Honestly, it was like my body image. It was especially like growing up and getting bullied, and you know, the girls in my church would be vicious sometimes. It took a toll on like my body image, and I would just eat and eat and eat to feel happier. And you know, it took such a toll on me. It actually I like created a eating disorder, and so it was tough. And so
You know the name of the disorder?
yeah, it so it's binge eating disorder. It's like where you
Binging.
eat
Okay.
a lot and then throw it all up. It's really gross. And I actually, again, I'm so ignorant. Like I didn't know it was a disorder. I did it so often. A lot of people don't know that, but like I went through that, and like it's messed up to say, but I was so big that like nobody would think like, oh, she has an eating disorder. Like it must be that she eats too much. But yeah, I suffered through that for a long time, and so it really took a toll on me.
I want to ask you because, you know, I mean, I just based on my own knowledge of eating disorders, you know, most of it it's not really, you know, most of it's not even physical. It's more mental. There's a mental reason, emotional reason why behind the disorders, right? So I want to ask you is just, you know, because I'm sure there's a lot of Polynesians out there, just or women, or it doesn't matter what culture. I know it happens because I know people myself that have eating disorder, like anorexic. Is it called anorexic?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
it's I forgot the like scientific name, but it's like something anorexia.
So, but you know, when I remember my conversation with them, they said like, you know, it was always tied to like emotional reason behind it. Of, you know, I'm not feeling good enough, or you know, they didn't eat or didn't eat or lack of eating enough because like they just wanted to. You know, so I want to ask you is like, you know, because I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this, and then they're probably going through the same thing you're doing, but they're not aware they have a disorder.
Yeah,
right. So
I was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
But sorry. I think it's called bulimia.
Bulimia. Oh, there you go. Bulimia.
Yeah, where you like eat a lot and then you just throw it all up.
So what was the like emotional reason of why you did that? Do you remember looking back now as a kid? Like what was the driving factor that made you feel in order to do that?
So I was like, I still struggle with it, but I was extremely depressed. Back then, and I know that's another topic that like a lot of, I think, people in the poly culture kind of don't talk about. Because we are such a happy people, you know. It's like, oh, like depression, and so I suffer with that a lot. Growing up, and just every time I get a comment or, you know, just looking in the mirror, I'd be like disgusted at myself. But like, sorry, I feel like I'm so messed up. Like I have a food addiction as well, but I just like, I so badly wanted to, you know, be the right body image that like everyone thinks you should have. And so, you know, to like feed my food addiction, I would eat just gross amounts of food, and then to feel better, I would throw it all up. But Yeah.
Yeah. So so for everybody's listening, like, so you were eating, to feel, because you were unhappy,
Yeah.
and
That was
that was a way to feel better about yourself.
yeah, that was my coping mechanism,
Yeah.
was to like just eat my sadness away, and then I get sad again because I ate, and then I throw up and then get sad and eat again. Like it was just a constant cycle. And
Yeah. And yeah, and a lot of everybody that's watching, like, this happens a lot, and I know within our culture, like, mental health and depression is not something that we have a lot of knowledge about. So I know that, and that's why I see, for me, I feel like that's why a lot of Polynesians go through these type of issues, mentally disorders and everything. And because we don't have the knowledge, or we don't know about it, or we don't talk about it at our own homes, then we kind of grow up thinking that something is wrong with us.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then what happens, it's so, as as human beings, like, when it's a natural reaction for us that, when we don't feel good, that we're gonna do something to make us feel better.
Yeah.
So I know eating is one of them, but people do a lot of stuff besides that. There's like people drink, people do drugs, people people have sex. Like, there's, like, I see all variety of things. So I just want to bring that up, because, like, I just want people to know that if you doing this, like, there's not a it's not about something that's wrong with you. It's just you have like, you have a disorder, or you have a addiction, that there's something that you can fix. So you can, if you get the right help and that you need. So
Yeah.
you were, did you ever talk about it to your family? Did you ever bring it up, like, when you
No,
were younger?
actually, yeah. So like I I've never like told anybody about it, but I just think it's because I never thought it was bad. Like, to be honest, like I just thought, you know what, it's fine. But for some reason, like, and I'm sure a lot of people feel this way, but like I felt like I had to punish myself a lot because of like, well, it's happening to me, or like, I ate so much, like I had to punish myself for whatever. And so I would like make myself throw up. But I can happily say that I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is that you got to realize, like, it's a problem. Like, you shouldn't do this to yourself, and it goes hand in hand with like self-love, and like you really, but it's hard, like
Yeah.
to this day, like I still struggle with it. But you have to love yourself enough to know that you don't have to do this to yourself, so.
Yeah. So when did you finally? Because I know you struggled with it for the most part, and especially in the younger years. What age did you realize, like, you had a disorder, and what age did you realize that you started learning about what you were going through, and then you started, like, figuring out ways to kind of help yourself overcome it? Like, what age? Like, when did you get to that point?
Oh, this is pretty sad, but 25, like just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very recent.
Yeah.
Because I lost my sister to cancer, and that kind of like put me in even more of a downward spiral. And I was getting so bad, and so I was looking up, like, what can I do, because I didn't know I had a food addiction. I thought I just really loved food, and
Yeah.
thought I could just easily, just throw it all up, because I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's definitely a mental thing that I
Yeah.
needed help with. But because I was looking up, like, I needed to lose weight, like I was getting really unhealthy. And so I have VSG, like the weight loss surgery.
Okay.
But when I was looking into that, I kind of saw, like, because you have to take a mental health examination, like when you go for it. And they were talking to me, and they're like, oh, so what you have, like you have food addiction. And I was like, oh, really? Like, okay. And I think they're just kind of going through it, and they're like, yeah, we don't want you to think that this is going to fix that. And sorry, the story's like all over the place. But so with that, like I went home and I kind of did research, and then I saw like the different types of eating disorders. Because I think when everyone thinks of eating disorders, they think mostly of the anorexia, where you starve yourself and you don't eat. And and I didn't know that, like, you know, gorging yourself till you're absolutely sick and then just purging it all, like that is a massive disorder, and it affects a lot of people, and it actually will damage like your physical self if you don't like seek help and you stop. And again, it's like linked to depression, linked to all these linked to all these things. And so
mental health.
And so I just kind of I had to, because I really, sorry, I keep going all over the place.
Yeah, you're good.
But yeah, I always knew,
So when you learned about it, right? So you learned about it,
mm-hmm.
And then how did you, like, when you finally learned about your own disorder, like how did you feel? Like, oh wow, like it's a disorder I have.
It kind of shocked me at first, and then, you know, then I was like, okay, I think I need to stop, you know. But on the days, like it wasn't just like okay, I'm gonna stop. But on the days where I would just be hating myself, like I would fall right back into my old habits. And so I just had to kind of start loving myself. It was funny, actually. I went to this really helped me, but I went to church one day, and what the lesson was on self-love, and it was such a powerful lesson. And all these girls were like sharing their stories, and they're like, you know, like I just never feel like I should be loved. But I don't know, sitting there, I'm looking at them and I'm like, I was amazed, because I was like, these girls are like beautiful, and they're, I don't know, you just wouldn't think that, you know?
Yeah.
But like I said, everyone struggles with something. And so just kind of seeing that, I just went home, kind of took a good look at myself, and was like, you know, if you want to start loving yourself, wanting to do better, like you need to fix yourself from the inside out. And, you know, I'm still working on it, but yeah, that's what really kind of pushed me to start stopping that toxic trend.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. Yeah, I think that's something that at some point, as Polynesians or people in general, like we at some point, especially if you have a difficult upbringing, like you said, everybody's going through something. I know, especially everybody I've had a podcast with, like, you know, they've always talked about their own struggles that they went through as a child. But one thing that always leads to when we struggle in a very early and young age, at some point in time, we figure we learn about self-love. I know, and I just want to express that to everybody out there that's watching this right now. You know, whatever struggle that you're going with, I really, really hope that you really dive into it and start learning about self-love. If you know about self-love, great, keep doing it. But if you never heard of the concept, because of your tough Polynesian upbringing, I know Polynesian love is different than what the type of love we learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need to take care of yourself, and you said it perfectly. And I love that. I actually wrote it down. I told you I had some fire, so I'm gonna write down that fire in my notes.
Thank you.
You said like, you know, nothing's gonna change if you work unless you change yourself first from the inside. That's absolutely true. You know, if you're struggling right now, And I know a lot and I've been there. I've gone through my own struggles myself. And a lot of times especially when we're younger, even adults, we think this as well. We think that if we change what's on the outside, and a lot of times when we're younger, we focus on that and all the superficial stuff of that we kind of focus. Okay, I need to change all these things on the outside, out of your body, out of the clothes you wear, to make yourself look good, look popular, look pretty, whatever. We think that by changing the outside, that it's gonna change how we feel on the inside, but that's not the truth, and that's not how it works. Happiness is not something you find on the outside. Happiness is something you have to find within. You have to dig deep within yourself. And I know a lot of times, a lot of people, there's a lot of dark and skeletons that we have to go through, that we have to open up and deal with. But if you're watching this, I just want to let you know, start working on yourself on the inside. There's a lot of information out there. You can go on the internet to learn about whatever you're going through. Google has everything. So just type in on Google, go on YouTube, you can find it. But once I realized for myself that I started to work on myself from the inside and feeling good about myself as a man from the inside, then everything else started to change on the outside. Then you realize that when you're happy on the inside, naturally you're gonna be happy on the outside. But
I do think like sometimes people will view it as like, okay, like you're getting a little conceited, but I think it's so important to feel like good about yourself, because like it'll make you happier, like, and you should feel yourself, you should love yourself, you should and it's hard to like I was in that lesson, I was like so shocked by these girls because I was like, they're all so beautiful, but at the same time it's like you shouldn't compare yourself to others. The only person you should ever compare yourself to is yourself, and should always like do better within yourself, see where you improve the next day from the day before. Like when I was going through trying to stop my gross habit, I would have to kind of congratulate myself on like the tiniest things, because it was a struggle going through it, especially if I could do it again, I would have gotten therapy, because I think therapy is pretty powerful. I just didn't I didn't have any info about it. I thought you just do therapy when you're struggling with something massive, but I think it's actually pretty important to have, and I think it would have helped me a lot through it. But just like doing it myself, I had to just like the littlest things, like, oh, okay, you didn't throw up more than once today, or okay, you just you didn't eat till you were sick today. Like I had to congratulate myself on those little things and then slowly work my way up to like the bigger things and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm interested here. So, you said you had to take a test, like a mental test, to do it. When you made this decision, did you share? Was it your own personal decision? Did you share it with anyone else in your family, or was it you just kept it under the wraps?
So I shared it with like a few people and with some of my family.
What was
my
your reaction?
immediate family, it was a very mixed reaction. I still to this day get mixed reactions. Like my family was supportive, but they were scared. I had some aunties who were very against it. They're like, okay, like that's not the way you should do it, everyone, or not everyone, but like some people who just were very against it. They're like, that's cheating. Why are you doing this? And they were just, I think what it is they were just misinformed. Because I was like that. I was like, oh, surgery, like that's cheating, But
yeah.
I don't think it's cheating to want to better yourself. I did it so that I could be healthy and, live longer, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
I know.
Yeah.
I know that's often the perception and the criticism when what do you call it? Is it? I mean, because you know what you did is like some form of body
Like
what's
altercation.
altercation? Is it altercation?
Alteration?
There you go. There you go. Body alteration.
Yeah, body
no,
alteration.
no, altercation is fine. No.
Yeah.
No, I mean not in the altercation. No, no. Alterate. Say it again one more time.
I already alteration.
Alteration. Yeah. So you know, and I know as a society, you know, especially if you come from a very rooted traditional culture, you know, body. Oh, there you go. I know body modification. That's a better
body.
word.
Yeah.
So you know,
like I guess inside.
yeah. So you know what you did is some form of body modification, but we do. There's so many body modifications that we do that. Like there's surgery for people to do with their faces. There's breast implants.
Oh, yeah.
People the tattoos. Like there's so many different types of body modification, and for me, like one thing, you know, for me, like I'm a big advocator for like happiness, and I know a lot of people would judge people for getting certain body modifications on their body, but I think I always tell people you don't know the reason why they're doing it. You know, there's always a reason. You don't know what somebody's going through in their life. And for me, I'm a big advocate. If you do it because it makes you happy, generally you do it. For me, if you do a body modification for the right reason, you're doing it generally because you want to be happy. You know, I'm all like, I fully support anybody, you know, in what they're doing because it's your happiness. Like, who is anybody to tell somebody how to be happy?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you're not gonna go home to that person. Like,
hey, exactly.
Go home with yourself.
Who are you? like, who the hell are you to tell me what to do in my life and what makes me happy? You know, and for me, as long as you're not hurting yourself and you're not hurting anybody, then do what you do what you want to do. Get a tattoo. Get some, get what do you call it? Botox.
Yeah, like what you want.
Like do what
like it's funny that you bring up like plastic surgery because with Luke, so my highest weight was like 360 pounds.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like I think I'm 170. And when you lose over 100 pounds, you get like a ton of loose skin.
Yeah.
And that like it's funny because like with body image, like sometimes you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, like I need to lose weight. And then for me, it's like, oh my God, like I should go get like plastic surgery and all this stuff. But
yeah,
I just think at the end of the day, like if you're healthy and happy, like it, you'll be fine in the end. Like you don't need all that. But of course, if you want it and it makes you happy, then yeah, go get it. But it's not cheap. So
yeah. Yeah, like for me, like that's when anybody out there is going through it. The thing I can say, like as just do what makes you happy, and then as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, don't do it because you think that everybody's gonna like you better.
Oh,
don't do it for the wrong reasons. Don't do it for the wrong way because nothing you would. That's one thing I know about life. Nothing you're gonna do is ever gonna please everybody, no matter what you do.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So don't do it. Don't do it. Do it for you. Like look at do it for yourself. If you know generally that you're gonna be happy with in yourself, then do it. Don't worry about what people think. It's your happiness, and people just don't. People just understand. That's something I've learned. I mean, I used to be that person. I judge, but then I've gone through my own experiences in my own life, and where I've made my own, gone through my own struggles. I realized, I mean, like you said at the beginning of the podcast, everybody is going through something. So, just like the best thing especially when it comes to self-love, that's one thing I always tell people. When people are going through their self-love process, the best thing you do is just support them support them.
Yeah.
Don't try to, don't try to give them your 2 cents on what they should do.
Yeah. Like the altercations, like try to not do that. Because it's so easy to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fire right back, and I feel like you're seen as almost like weak if you don't. Yeah. But sometimes like it's just for the best. Like you don't have to give in to them or like insult them as well. Like I think I posted about me like having the surgery and like I lost all this weight and
on social media.
Yeah, and so
how was that?
Yeah, it was generally good. Like I was so grateful for all the support I had. But yeah, I had some of my cousins came to me and they're like, oh yeah, like so and so was like, yeah, like that's great and all, but she's so cheated. Like, why would she post about it and blah blah blah? And like I won't lie, it made me kind of like I should delete everything. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so like butthurt right now.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, like I think it did save my life. Like I was on a quick track to something not good, and so
Yeah.
you know, I'll be grateful for it always. And so I shouldn't give in to people like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you went. I know you mentioned you went through a lot of mental health and stuff. So, but yeah. But I just one thing. For everybody out there, just make sure you just get a good support system and understand. Not everybody's going to agree. That's the thing. You can't, regardless of what you do, everybody won't agree with what you did. The best thing you do is just support yourself, good people, and just be happy with your own decision for your life. Okay, so what was I'm interested to hear, like, what was the backlash once it became fully public and known, not only social media, but like what were people saying, the backlash, what they were getting, and I'm interested to hear, because the Polynesians, our parents is a big something,
talkers.
Is a big influence in our life. Our parents, it's a big influence in our lives. So I wonder, how was your parents' reaction, like over everything? Were they, did they give you a full support, or did they question at first, or did they had to learn about it? I'm just interested to hear.
So yeah, my parents, they were scared for the most part, because like any type of surgery is like, it's scary, like it's unpredictable, you never know what could happen, and especially being so unhealthy, being 360 pounds, like it could go south like really quick. But they, after I recovered, they're like, okay, like this is good, and especially after I started losing weight, they're like, oh, okay, this actually is a good thing. But it was kind of funny, because so when I lost more and more weight, I kind of, I don't know, this is like weird to say, but like I would dress kind of more like the way I
used to dress.
I wanted to, like how I want to dress, and that didn't sit well with like some of my aunties, and so I would hear about it, and it would make me sad, just the things that I would hear them, that they would say, like, oh, she thinks like she's all that now because she lost weight. And it was like, I just feel like I could be more myself.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sorry.
Exactly. But yeah, I think that was just the annoying thing. It's like, I think if you support someone, you have to support them fully. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so I want to ask you, when you after the surgery, can you take us back to, like, all right, you got the surgery, and then everything's healed, you finally fully healed, fully healed. How was that? How was it? Like, how did you feel? Like the first reactions for yourself, looking at yourself, and because you just looking, you were 360, and now all of a sudden overnight, you're just a different body. Yeah. So how was that for you?
It was pretty well. So you have to like stick to a really strict diet, and you got to exercise and maintain it. Because so with VSG, it's like they say it's more like a tool to help you lose weight. But don't get me wrong, like if I didn't have it, like I would not have lost weight. But you have to maintain it. And a lot of people think, oh, you're cheating, like you can just go eat like a cracker and you're good for the day. And it's like, it's weird, because like I still kind of struggle with food addiction. And so even when I'm full, like I still want to like go and eat more. And it's possible to like stretch your stomach back out, because like, so the surgery I got, what they do is they like cut off like most of your stomach, and that's why they call it like a vertical sleeve. Because it's kind of like a sleeve. And so your intake of food is like so much less, and so that's what ultimately makes you lose weight. And then to maintain that, you gotta like diet and exercise. But yeah, when I started losing weight, I don't know why, but I was like, whoa, like I'm losing weight. Like this is weird. But I think what really like solidified it for me was I ran up, like, because at work we have these huge long things of stairs. Is I ran up the stairs and I wasn't like dying. Like usually before I was like passing out. I was like blacked out when I reached the top step. But I ran up and I was like, I felt like fine. And so I did it like 2 more times. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, 2 more times? Yeah,
Yeah, I was like, that's right. I own these stairs now. But yeah, that's just the biggest thing for me, is that I feel like healthier, which is the reason why I got it, the surgery.
Yeah. Hey, I'm interested to hear, like, you know, because I know you said like at an early age you were bullied, right?
Yeah.
Now you look different. I'm sure you receive a different attention.
Different.
Now I'm sure you receive some attention now. So how was that, dealing with that dynamic of never getting any attention?
Yeah, I know. I never got attention at all.
And then now, and then I'm also interested to hear if anybody that used to look down on you before, and then now after the surgery, like they started to try to make friends with you and get to know you. So I'm just interested to hear that, because I feel like that probably happened, right? People started, you know, showing you attention. And how did you do that? How did that feel for you when you started getting attention for the first time?
It was
you never
like
got attention
weird.
your whole life.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, what is this? Like, I don't know what flirting is. I don't know what sliding in the DMs is. Like, but yeah, I remember because there's a bunch of these boys who used to like pick on me back in elementary school, and some of them did slide into my DMs, and like, I don't know, it made me more annoyed than anything. I was like, really? Like, now you want to talk to me? Like,
yeah.
And I would just show my sister, and I'd be like, look who decided to hit me up. He just laughed. But yeah, and I like dating for me, especially like being so overweight. It was like for me, just and being just so, I don't know. Sometimes I guess I'm weird. My dating experience was so not good, you know, but the boys that I would go on dates with back then, like, I guess they found me again, and they would like come back and be like, you know, we should go out. There was this one guy who, like, I think I just went on one date with him, and then he ghosted me, and I was like, oh, like, ouch, but okay, move on.
Wait, before the surgery.
Yeah, before surgery. Yeah, this was 360-pound me.
Yeah.
Like,
so you guys went on a date, and then he just ghosted you.
And he just ghosted me, and like, sadly, like, that was the norm for me. But he like slid into my DMs recently, and he was like, hey, like, you never hit me up after the date. And I was like, oh, like, sir, I was blocked, like, I couldn't. And so I was so mad. I was like, excuse me. Like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, just like things like that will happen, and I think it's weird, but yeah, I'm still getting used to it. It's like I'm dating someone right now, and I don't know, I've never had a non-toxic relationship, and which is so bad, but I think this is my first one that's like not toxic, and I can tell like things I do, I think I'm still like trying to heal from the past toxic relationships, but you know, getting there, trying.
I feel like maybe I feel like a lot of time, maybe just my observation, like, you know, it's when you're struggling yourself, it's really hard to be in a relationship, you know, when you're struggling yourself, you know. So I've been there where, like, you know, I'm like, I'm just not in a good place in life, but I'm just for some reason, I don't know why I'm trying to get a relationship. But then I feel like that, you know, if you're not, if you're not happy with yourself, you gotta find some time to like take care of yourself first. Because if you're not happy and you add on the responsibility of trying to make somebody else happy, oh my God, that's just like,
oh my gosh. And like me being big, I would always be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so honored this guy even wants to like go out with me, like, so I would just do anything and everything for them. And
Yeah.
I would just take like the mental abuse. I would just
Yeah.
take the like
Yeah.
lies and whatever, just because I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I should because I'm disgusting. Like I always thought
Yeah.
that about myself. And so, yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because I know I do know some girls like that, and there are they struggle with their own health and with their own body, and then
Yeah.
I see them in toxic relationships, and they're like just getting abused and whatever, and I always say, why you like, like why are you accepting that? But and that was always their case, like, oh, like they, because of their, how they look, whatever, they feel like they're like they have to take it, or or they can't find somebody else. They just gotta settle whoever's willing to get them. Then that's why I
Yeah.
always tell people, like, just take some time, like, whatever you're going through, like take some, you know don't feel like you have to rush it, because I know Polynesian dating, we have to like get married ASAP.
Yeah. It's like the next week you're engaged.
Like our family wants us to get married right after high school. So
Like,
I know that dynamic also put a lot of pressure on women to get married, but I always just want to just tell girls, like, don't be afraid to take some time for yourself and find yourself, love yourself first. um so that way, you don't, so you don't, like, your validation of who you are and how you feel about yourself is not dictated by somebody else, you
oh
know
yeah, absolutely. And there's like, I have some friends who are like, they're married, but they're not happy.
yeah.
And like back in the day, like, people would tell me their problem, like, you should just leave, like, love yourself, like, you're beautiful. But like I wouldn't ever take that advice for myself. But so you're like, so many girls deal with it, and it makes me so sad because there's a lot of women out there, especially poly women, who like, they could do so much better, like they don't have to take that from whoever they're dating. Or like I went through it, like I shouldn't have. But
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, that feeling of like being loved when you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, it's everything. And the minute they like falter from it, it's like, oh my god, like, let me do whatever I can to
Yeah.
make you stay. Like, I'll even take this abuse from you, and it's terrible.
Yeah. So when I know you see you're in a relationship now, right?
Hmm.
So and I'm happy to hear you are in a relationship, and you said it's a healthy one. So I'm happy to hear
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
I was like, whoa. First one.
So yeah, can you talk about, I'm interested here in your perspective of a healthy relationship. So for everybody that's listening, I'm sure they, especially the women right now, that kind of went through your own experience and they want to define they too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like, what are things that you consider a healthy relationship that you learn now that you noticed that wasn't prevalent in your previous relationships? So what's something? Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Oh, sorry.
No, you good.
Like, definitely, like, if he makes you feel beautiful, like, it's sad to say, like, I never felt that with any of my past relationships. I was kind of just there for like a good time, or just like
Right.
to make them happy. And I think like in a healthy relationship, you should know that you're happy, like there's always going to be ups and downs, and like, you'll have your little fights here and there, but it shouldn't ever be something that's like, that will hurt you, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
You
I
should
think that
never.
I think what you're saying is, like, there's a difference between having ups and downs in a relationship than
Mhm.
somebody intentionally trying to hurt you in a
Yeah,
relationship, right?
yeah.
We
Or
make
like,
mistakes. We make mistakes. There's a difference between a mistake and somebody purposely trying to, hurt
yeah,
you.
like
That's
trying to
that's different.
ruin
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly.
blow blows to you. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
I think if he calls you like names, I think that's a huge like red flag.
yeah,
Um, and that because I thought that was like normal. I was like, oh yeah, he can call me the B word. That's fine. He can tell me that I'm like fat and I need to do this and do that. But like, I haven't heard that once from this guy. And you know, I do think it's a big red flag. And guys, like, they need to respect you. Respect is a huge thing in a healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you need to feel safe as well. If there's ever like a hint of that, that heart drop that you feel when you're not in a good place and you're not safe, I think immediate leave.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel fear. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel
Exactly.
afraid being in that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask you is do you ever just I'm just curious. Do you ever run into these guys that from the past? Do you ever run in Republic?
No. Thankfully, no. No. I have not yet, but
Yeah.
I can say that I don't know what I would do if I saw them again.
All right.
Yeah. No. One of them, I think, is in jail, so
Okay.
have them stay there. So that tells you. I didn't have the best taste back then.
That's all good. So I want to ask you is, after going through everything you've gone through in your weight loss journey, what do you, I'm interested to see what you're doing now as far as like, purpose. Do you also do people reach out to you also like girls or men like and ask about your journey or ask about that process because they want to do it for themselves and because I feel like they sharing a story today and just based on what I saw on social media I could see there's a lot of empowerment that you do towards other people. I don't know if maybe you're not aware of it, but I do believe that we do empower and impact people in some type of way. So like going through your own journey, have you come in contact with people that reach out to you and be like, hey, I read about your weight loss journey or I heard about it, and then you didn't know, but you kind of impact them and help them in their own life too. Has that ever happened?
Yeah, actually, yeah, and it always makes me feel so like, oh my gosh, like you came to me. But the one thing like I never want to do is like come off like I just did this, like, oh, I just exercised and ate right. Cause like even though I did that, there's a huge part missing. And so I just want like everyone to know like I did get the surgery and it did help me. And so yeah, a lot of people will reach out to firstly like see like, oh my gosh, like how did you lose that much weight? And then I'll tell them. And then if they're interested, I definitely let them know a bit more. If you do like read my post, then you'll know like I had the surgery. And so a lot of people will reach out if they want to get it too. And so I'm always happy to like give any advice to anybody who ever wants to like know more about it. Just anyone who wants to like go on a weight loss journey, because it's one of the hardest things to do is to lose weight, because it's not something you can just do and then it's like done. You have to just forever keep doing it. It's tiring, but definitely worth it. So sorry.
Very good. So I want to ask you, what's your passion now? I'm just I mean you got through a lot of stuff in your life, so I'm just interested to hear what do you do now? Do you have something? Do you have a passion? Do you have anything you're doing now for yourself? Your goals and your dreams.
So yeah, like when I was a kid, like I loved art, and I still love art like so much to this day. And I wanted to make a career out of it. So I was gonna go to school and like I wanted to become an art teacher, but when COVID hit, it was kind of like, oh well, they're not really doing like school anymore. So that's kind of on hold for now, but it's something that I've been working towards. And so once I go to school for it, that's the path I want to go on. So hopefully I'll get to do that because I love art, I love kids. So I thought that would be a good career path.
It's all good. I wanted to ask you before, like, was your parents really strict on you when you were growing up? Were they really strict, or was it more like loose or flexible when they raised you?
So yeah, I had a really good relationship with my parents. Let's see. I know, like, I don't know, like strict in the way, like we would get, we get lickings if we were naughty. But yeah, it was, I guess because I was raised a little bit more like Balangi way.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as strict
Mm-hmm.
as like my friends or my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
so,
Sorry. You're like,
no.
boring.
No.
I'm sorry.
I just had I had that question on my notes and I just
Yeah.
looked at it. I looked at it. I realized I forgot to ask it, so I just had to throw it in there.
No worries.
Okay. No, so I want to ask you because I know I think that one of the biggest topics that I know you talked about you say you still, even though you've gone through the surgery, and I know you say you still struggle with it now, here and there. It's not perfect, because I feel like I think that's something that's important for everybody to hear, that when we go through our journeys in life, to find ourselves and find our happiness, it's not a one-time thing. Like you just you do it one day and it's all everything, and you work out and everything works out in your life. Like, and that's something I always preach to people, and I like to share myself. Is just it's ongoing. It's ongoing. No matter, happiness is not a one-time thing. It's something you work on every single day, and then you become. So, can you talk about the little things that you still struggle with right now, even though you've grown so much and you've gone through your surgery, and you've become a better woman, and in a healthy relationship now, but I know, but you still struggle with something. So can you share that? Can you share, if you don't mind sharing that with everybody?
Yeah, of course. So I still struggle so much with like body image, especially like with social media. There's just all of these perfect girls and just beautiful girls on there, and like if your body doesn't look that way, it's like, oh, my body is it's not right. But I could tell this to people all day, but like I struggle to believe it, but I believe it for others, which is like weird and messed up sometimes. But I just feel like everyone is so beautiful, like in their own way, like the way you were made, the way that you are, like that's just what makes you you. And if you don't have that, like 4-inch waist with that giant butt, like it's fine, you're beautiful. Like you shouldn't try to please like Instagram or anyone else. You should only look beautiful for yourself. And I still struggle with like depression sometimes. I don't know, it's tough because like you said, it's never like a one and done thing. Like you have to constantly work on it, because
there's no magic pill you take.
yeah, like you could be so happy, and then just like if you can't, you slip and you're like, oh, I'm sad, and you just kind of fall into this just dark place. And so it's a tough thing. It's really tough. But like you said, if you have a good support system around you, have some healthy outlets, therapy if you can. I know therapy is not cheap, so but all my friends that struggle with it, they say that it's a great thing to have.
Have you ever got it? Have you ever got therapy before?
No, so I had like a session. It was after my dad passed. I was broken, but because my mom's friend is a therapist, and so she came and kind of did like a little session, and it was really nice, honestly. But like one and done like that, I'm still struggling. But I think just the most important thing is to just try, because if you don't try, then it meaningless almost. You just have to try.
And then you say you still struggle with the eating disorder sometimes, right?
Yeah. So, because not the bulimic
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but just the food addiction. Like, it's so hard to, I don't know, just stop, because that's like what an addiction is, you know. You have to keep going and keep going until you're like hurting yourself, then
Yeah.
you can stop. And like, I'll admit, like, sometimes I've done it, like, just because I had the surgery, like, I could still go past my limit, and they tell you, like, you know, don't do that, or else you're going to stretch out your stomach, like, back to where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll start like gaining weight, and, you know, all your hard work will just be for nothing, is what they say. But, you know, it's tough. Like, I get into those depressive days. I get just so like down in that dark place, and I go back to my comfort, which is food. And so sometimes it's hard for me to just not eat till I'm like want to die. So
Yeah, are there any new coping habits that you do now that you've never done before, and or different ways you deal with your depression that you never did before pre-surgery, that helps you now that you kind of want to share to everybody?
Yeah, so it's weird, but some like makeup is one thing.
Yeah.
As you can see, my lashes are just too long and they're massive. But I honestly, like, I love makeup because
Yeah.
It's like a form of art, I would say. And
Got you.
it's just kind of like, you know, and you can take like 2 hours on your face and then you wash it off, and then you can do another 2 hours on your face and just kind of take your mind off of like your problems and just create like this new look on you. And you know, so makeup is one. Yeah, surprisingly, I didn't ever really do that pre-surgery. And then, like, I don't know, this is a weird one, but like driving, I drive for hours sometimes, like on my really bad days where, you know I'm gonna probably do something like harmful. I will just go on a drive, and you know, sometimes I end up in like Nephi, or I'll end up in like I'll end up way up in Ogden.
Wait, is Nephi,
like, okay.
is Nephi a town?
Yeah, like, all right, time to go home. And it's like, it's by the time I'm like not sad, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I drove so far, like I have to go back. But it helps me surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one.
No, I do that sometimes. I like I go to like a scene. I go like a nice scenic drive. You know, just usually like on a Sunday, I'll do it if I'm just like I just need to put. Because usually when I drive, that's when I'm into my thoughts. Sometimes when I have so much going on up here, you know, let me just drive. It's very therapeutic. You know, very therapeutic. Yeah. It just relaxes me, and I'm just, you know, I like to find like a good scene, those scenic highways where it's like, especially in Cali, like where I'm at, you know, there's a lot of beaches, so like.
I bet. So lucky.
Yeah, so just driving and look at the beach and, you know, good weather, and it really does help. Just kind of like, you know, let go and relax yourself, and then I don't drive to the other side of the state, but like
I know. I'm really messed up. So yeah, I gotta drive far.
Hey, maybe one day I should try. Let me try her method. Let me see how this goes.
You're like, okay, that one's weird.
But. So no, that's cool. That's good. You know, whatever you're doing, it helps you. That's good to hear.
Yeah, and like you said, that doesn't hurt yourself or other people.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I do want to talk about you know, just mental health real quick, and then being healthy. You know, have you adopted like you know, I know you were trying to be healthy pre-surgery, but have you increased your level of like focus and attention to being healthy now since you're at the surgery? Like,
yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. So it's like a life change that you have to do, like when you want to be healthier. And I think it actually goes like hand in hand with like mental health, because you have to constantly be on it, you know. because it is an important thing, it's within yourself, and it helps you to feel happy and feel like content and at peace with yourself. But I just think when you're healthy, like your mind will follow to, or at least it'll be easier for your mind to follow, But there are some days where like we treat ourselves, and I think that mentally helps too, as long as we don't like go crazy with it.
Yeah. What's your diet look like right now, as far as like what you consume on a daily basis?
So it used to be crazy strict. Like right off surgery, I was like, okay, I have to like count all my calories and only vegetables, only like certain types of proteins. But now I'm very like, because it's been, I think 3 years. Or no,
Yeah.
wait, 2 years. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm old.
But, you're not old. Stop saying that.
Okay, for myself. But now it's like mostly just proteins and lots of vegetables. And I think like, I don't know, a tip that someone gave to me was like, you have to find a healthy food that you like and then stick with that. And
yeah. What's your healthy food?
My health, it's like embarrassing. It's like what zucchini. It's like, what is the word? Yeah, I love zucchini and like mushrooms. So like I found like vegetables I like, because before I was like very against vegetables. I was like McDonald's and Bethels like always. But
yeah. Do you what about fruits? Do you eat fruits too? Or more vegetables?
So I prefer vegetables, but because like I'll do keto a lot. I know like you've probably heard of that diet.
Yeah, yep.
And it's weird, but you actually like can't have a lot of fruits on it.
Oh, because fruits have a lot of carbs in it. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, and which I thought was weird, but when I can do fruit, I always do pineapple. Like so much pineapple. Love pineapple.
Oh yeah, pineapple, and plus you're from Hawaii too. You gotta eat that pineapple.
That stays true to my.
But yeah. I think for me, I like fruits. Like I like to eat like whenever Sometimes like I try to stay healthy. I just moved to LA, and then my friend got me into this organic diet where like we'll eat, like just buying everything from Whole Foods, and then actually it's pretty good. Eating organically, so I can feel a big difference.
Yeah,
but
so you
for me,
feel better too. Yeah,
feel better. Yeah, and then but I do get like I think my vice is like I have a weakness for like sweets. Like
that's me too. Yeah,
like cookies and candy. So, but I realized I pretty much took the same method as you. Is like whenever I feel that sweet rush, I'll buy like fruits that's very sweet, like grapes. I'll buy some grapes.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy grapes. I'll buy some apples, something that has some like that tastes sweet to me, and I'll eat that. And then it kind of dies down suppresses my because if I let it go, I'll just eat I'll just grab a bag of Oreos and just go to town with that.
Yeah, I should try it, because I actually struggle with like sweets, and it's so hard because that's my weakness. So if I like do good one day, I'll like, okay, I get to eat a cookie today.
Yeah.
But I do the fruit thing, so I can just stop eating cookies.
Do you have a cheat day? Do you have a cheat day, or there's no cheat days?
So I used to be like, oh, no cheat days, but I don't know. I don't really like. I used to be way stricter before, but I think like when you do it so often, you can like kind of mentally like see like oh, okay, like I did really good this week, or I did really good the past like days. I can like have a little something. I think just the main thing is to just not go crazy with it, and then not to feel guilty about it, because I used to just beat myself up whenever I would like eat something like sugar or something that wasn't approved on the diet, and I would like again punish myself. And like I don't know, I need to like stop that mentality. It's very toxic, and I don't know, I just always do that.
No, yeah, for me, Sunday is my cheat day. Sunday, that's like but honestly, having a cheat day, actually it makes me look forward. Like when I wake up on Monday, I'm like, oh, look, I'm just working towards Sunday. I guess it keeps me like keeps me focused and disciplined. Okay, just keep working, and because Sunday's coming around, and then Sunday, I have my cheat day on Sunday. But I think you made it. I think for if a lot of people listen to this, I know everybody has a different diet. But I think that the key, one thing I learned now at this point in time in my life is moderation.
Yeah.
If you're gonna look, if you're, I know we have our diets and days we're supposed to eat in our cheat days, but if you really have to eat that cookie on that during the week, and I've had that feeling before, like I'll just eat the cookie, but I'll moderately, I won't just if I really have that desire to do it, that's for me. I'll just eat a couple cookies today, just let it go, and then but I won't eat like the whole bag.
Yeah.
But I realize if you go hardcore, like you just try to deprave yourself from not eating, then that's how I feel like you break your people break their diet plans and their lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's tough. And I mean, I'm not saying like everyone has to go on a diet, but like it does like make you feel better. I feel like because like we said, like when you fix yourself like from within, the outside starts to show, and like when you eat healthier, you feel better, and
Yeah, and you said it perfectly. Like our physical body ties into our mental health. Because when we feel good, then mentally we mentally get better. You have more energy and more clarity in your mind when you feel good. But if you don't feel good with your body, like you're out of breath, you're always run out of energy. You're lackadaisical. You just don't want to do anything. And then it's really then you often kind of dwell on all the negative things in your life. But when you're strong, when you're healthy, then you move around. You actually do things.
Yeah.
Right. So you actually get to move around, live life, and then it kind of doesn't allow you to just kind of dwell on the negative things in life. So, but I do want to ask you is what are the biggest things that you? Yeah, I know you the whole time that you were talking about food, like because you grew up in Samoan in Tongan, right? So like, was it hard? Like because in the Polynesian, we're always surrounded by food. church we have all these food at church functions and then at home.
Yeah.
So I know
any function, anytime the family gets together, it's so much food. Oh, it's so hard. And especially because like like in polyculture, they're like, oh my gosh, why aren't you eating? Like they kind of like look at you weird, and it's so hard. And especially because of like how I was before. Like I would grab like 5 plates and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm just getting started. And like it was, and then it's that mentality too that was kind of like, okay, I need to stop because it's not doing me any good. But yeah, like I had to tell them, like I can't eat that much because of what I have, and also like I'm trying to better myself. And I just think it's funny. Like I remember like I would be like, oh yeah, I'm on a diet back in the day, and they'd be like, diet, like what the like, okay, get her 2 plates, like they just want to feed you. And I know like that's because that's just how Polynesians like show their love too. But and it's like I don't want to deny your love, so of course I'm gonna eat it, but sometimes you have to just stick to your guns and try to say no. But yeah, it was so hard because I love poly food, and
So do you like Tongan food better, or do you like Samoan food better? What do you like?
Ooh, that's a dangerous question. I don't know. I don't know. I love Hawaiian food.
You went neutral. You have a neutral answer.
I had some stiff beats. No, but I love Hawaiian food. But it's kind of funny because my mom actually doesn't really know how to cook like Polynesian food, so that kind of helps. But whenever we go to like family functions, it was like over for me. But yeah, I love Hawaiian food, like musubis and poi. And, like, it's the best stuff.
Okay. I want to ask you is like, throughout your whole, and then just want to say thank you again for sharing your life so far.
Of course. Thank you for accepting. Sorry, I feel like I'm like a mess talking.
No, you're good. I'm glad because this is the first podcast I've ever done, and to talk about body loss, body weight loss. So, and I know it happens a lot. So I'm very glad that I got a chance to interview you and offer you your life story and your perspective. But I want to ask you, was just throughout your whole life growing up, looking back, like, what was like the most, in your mind, like the moment in your life that was like the biggest change or the biggest moment that kind of like, if that didn't happen, then you wouldn't be where you at today.
Does it have to be from my childhood or
any point of your life? Yeah.
Honestly, I think it was when I lost my sister to cancer. That was just that's when I I gained so much weight. I was extremely depressed, and I was so pissed. Like, it was weird. I was pissed at the world, pissed at everybody. I was like, why her? There's so many good people in this world, or there's so many bad people in this world, and I was like, oh, God chose to take her. And I just had a really, I don't know, that it like shook me, and I never, oh my God.
Was it the sister you talked about in the beginning about she always protected you?
Yeah, she would always, oh my God, she would come through always. And yeah, she was my protector and just my role model and my best friend. And that was tough. And like, even like with cancer, like I didn't know much about cancer. Like, I knew of it. I knew it was terrible. It was, this sickness, but I never knew like in depth about it until like my sister got it. And so, yeah, that just, it changed everything for me, because she was the one, like, when I came here from Hawaii, I felt like worthless. I was like, nobody likes me. Like, why would anyone, want to be my friend here? And then she became my friend, like best friend. And I was just so honored. And she always made me feel so like beautiful and just like worth something. And so when she like was gone, I was like, it kind of startled me into, kind of realizing like I need to start loving myself. And, just kind of remember she'll always be here with me in my heart. And, it's kind of, I don't know. But that changed my whole world when she left.
So did that like impact you to finally get the surgery, or did you already decide to get the surgery before, or
no?
Was that the reason why? Okay, I need to take my life seriously, and that's okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and it like, I don't know, like I spiraled for a bit. Like, I was so depressed, and I stay in close contact with her family, and like they know, like how it feels. I think like anyone who's lost someone that they've grown up with, and then that means like the world to them, like they know that like heartbreak you feel. And so it was tough. Like, I never felt in such a darker place. But I don't know, I can't like pinpoint when I was like, hey, I need to better myself. But I know one of them was like, because it was recently right after she died. I was looking at a picture of myself, and I didn't realize like I had grown to be so big. And like I've lost like family members before due to like weight problems, and it just like it's the worst feeling. Just I don't know. I feel like death, it will change anyone's life, you know, and I feel like Polynesians definitely go through, like, you know, everyone deals with it, you know, like hard. But I feel like because we have such big families, you know, we have so many people to love, and that also means we have so many people to lose. And so when we lose them, it's the hardest thing. But sorry, I went off on a tangent, but
No, you're good.
uh,
No, it's good. So, yeah, I want to ask you, like, do you? I'm just interested because I'm sure, like, after going through what you've gone through, I know you don't shy away from sharing your story. You don't shy away from sharing your thoughts and giving, and helping people if they have questions in their own life, so they be more healthy and be happy. So, do you feel like do you feel like? I can only imagine if you decided to try to like help people be healthy. Do you ever get like backlash from people like, oh, like you can't tell me to be healthy because you went through that, like your weight loss journey? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it was, I mean, this is just an example that I know of, but like, I know it happens a lot. But I was talking to this, I don't know, because sorry, all over the place. But I went to the gym, that's right. And there was this group of women I was talking to, and we were just kind of talking about it. And they're like, oh my God, but you lost so much weight. Like, it's amazing. I was like, yeah, well, like I got VSG. And then I was sharing like what I do for my diet and like what I do for my workout. And then I was like going, and then I heard one of the ladies, she was like, okay, but she got VSG, like she got surgery, like that doesn't mean anything. Or sorry, one of the ladies told me, they're like, oh yeah, that she was talking so much how like you shouldn't be giving out like weight loss tips because you had surgery, like that is your weight loss tip. And I was like, oh well, shoot. But again, like it's like I was like butthurt about it, but it was like,
did you say anything back to her?
Huh?
Did you say anything back to her?
No, because I suck. I was like, oh, well, that's how she feels. That's how she feels. But again, I was just like, I think she's just misinformed. Like a lot of people are. Like don't get me wrong, like it helped me so much. Like I would not have lost this weight without the surgery. But again, like you do have to like keep up with it, and you have to like live healthy and work out and eat right, and which I think is a good basis for people who haven't had surgery, and it definitely helps you with that.
Yeah. Was it a Polynesian woman or like a non-Polynesian?
It was a non-Polynesian woman. Of course.
Do you get a lot of Polynesians asking you about your journey yourself? I'm interested. I'm curious to hear.
Yeah, I do. Which I think is awesome because that tells me like they really want to make a change in their life, and they want to be healthier. And I also like they struggle with what I struggle with, like food addiction and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of them have reached out to me, and I think two of them have gone through with it. So, which I think is awesome. Nice. Yeah. So, yeah, a couple of people.
Oh, what was it like when those people reach out to you? What was like their what was their main question? Like they're really interested they asked you, they wanted to find out.
So it was usually because they knew I had the surgery, and they wanted to know more information about it. A lot of it usually is like cost and like what you have to do to like be, because I think you have to be approved for it. I was automatically approved because I was so overweight. It's like, what is the BMI scale? It's like obese. Yeah, morbidly obese. That's I was under that category, so I'm immediately a candidate.
Yeah.
But it also, like, I didn't know this, but a lot of people will also get it for like their diabetes. And so I had one lady ask me about that. And so I just, I directed her to the class, because there's a class that you can take for it, and they're so informative. And I guess they'll like, if you get the surgery, your diabetes, I forgot, I'm probably not saying this right, but the percentage rate that your diabetes like goes down is like 70 to 80%. So it helps with that too, I guess.
And that was their main question, right?
Yeah, usually like cost and like.
Have you met them?
Oh,
Have you
sorry,
met,
the battery is like dying.
sorry. Have you met them after their surgery?
No. So
No. Okay.
I wonder if like they kind of do, because when I got it, I didn't realize like I would lose that much weight. Because like I really did want to get it just to be healthier and just, stop myself from being like, 600 pounds. And so I don't know, I kind of went into hiding. And then when I came out with it, everyone was like, oh my gosh, like you lost so much weight, and just start coming. And I was like, oh my God, like blah. But yeah, it was hard. I would say it was hard for me at first to like tell people, just because there is that like negative
judgment,
like connotation behind it, just because it's like, oh, you had to go get surgery, like oh, I don't know, there's just so much. And I was a part of that too. I was like, wow, like I would never, like I want to do it naturally and all this, but I feel like you got to do what you got to do for your health. So
got you. And I have a question about when you when you got in a relationship with your partner, did he know about your surgery beforehand, or did he not know?
So he did know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He actually, it's funny because he knew me when I was bigger too.
Okay.
And then I guess we reconnected and things hit off, and yeah, now we're dating.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I know. I always, oh wow, I never like thought about that. Yeah, he knew me back when I was bigger. So, but yeah, go for it.
No. Yeah, I want to ask you, like, when you before you met your partner, but I'm sure you went on dates before.
On
right?
What?
No, before this relationship you are with your partner, you went on dates before.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever so when you met somebody did you ever bring up your weight loss, or you just never, or did you not just bring it up?
I don't know, because like when you like first meet someone, like I don't know, there's never like a good like, oh, by the way, I lost like 200 pounds. But yeah, so it wouldn't really come up. But
okay.
Usually like if it's just like a 1 date, 2 date type of thing, I was like, we don't need to dive into that. And like,
okay.
But yeah, because I do think I don't know, I do want people to know, like, I don't know, because it's weird. It's not like, oh, hey, just so you know, I was big. Just a warning. And I don't know, they can go through like my social media and because I don't know, I don't want to be that person who's like trying to hide the fact, because I honestly, like, I'm very grateful for my journey. I think even though it was tough, it was hard, like you said, it like shapes you to be who you are today. And sorry, do you mind? I think I have to grab my charger because this thing keeps
go ahead.
Give me 1 second.
Go ahead. You're good.
You're right. Sorry, brief commission.
You are fine.
That works.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're good.
We're good. We're good.
You're like, oh, we're done, actually.
No, yeah, yes, yeah. I was interested. I know because I know a lot of girls ask that question, and but yeah, I think like you said, when you meet the right person, it doesn't matter. That person will always accept you for who you are. Okay. But yeah, yeah, that's what. We've gone through a lot about your life. About your life.
Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh.
No, that was good. I told you, like, that's the beauty about doing this, like just hearing the different unique stories of everybody. And I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for having the courage. A lot of people don't realize, but it takes a lot of courage to open yourself up and share your life. So I know it takes a lot of courage for you, especially what you've gone through. When you talk about all the things that happened to you as a child, as a bully, you get bullying. And I was like, dang, I was like, I wanted to give you a big hug. Like, oh my God, I want to just hug her right now.
I know, sorry. I was like flashing back. So I was kind of like not saying, I'm sorry if I didn't make sense, but.
No, like I just felt for you because like, I just, like you said, like I just, though you don't want to see anybody struggle and be unhappy, but the sad part about life, that's real life is. But I know you've a lot of things you shared today. Definitely, I know a lot of people watching this can relate to a lot of things you've gone through, especially a lot of women. There's Polynesians that are struggling with their body image and their mental health and not feeling beautiful, right?
Yeah, it hurts me because I think, like, I know I may be biased, but I think Polynesian women are like some of the most beautiful women.
Say it louder. Say it louder for the people in the back.
Say it louder. They are so beautiful. And yeah, like that self-love class I took, because it was all Polynesian women. It just like, that really opened my eyes, because I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know such, beautiful people could have such terrible struggles,
Yes, it's sad. For me, it's sad to see, like, because I met some, like you said, I met some beautiful men and women, right? I'm like, and they're struggling with their own image and their own insecurity. I'm like, why?
It goes both ways. Yeah, for men too. Like I don't think that gets talked about a lot too. But like I just think we need to lift each other up, do better.
Yeah, we have to. And that's why I'm so grateful you shared your story, because I know it's gonna impact a lot of people. So I think we've come to the end of the podcast, and like I told you before, thank you. I'm very grateful for this for coming on and taking the time to do this.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, I should be thanking you.
But I always ask every guest at the end of the show if you can end the show with some final thoughts. If you share some final thoughts with everybody, some words of wisdom or inspiration. And you can just leave that off of everybody, and we'll kind of end the show with that. So any final thoughts from you? Can you share?
Yes. So final thoughts. I just want to say, to everyone that's struggling, which, I know a lot of us are, it will get better. It's hard. It is so hard. Life is not easy. And, we all have come from different backgrounds, different struggles. And, just know, like we gotta be here for each other. I think, like we said, like we gotta lift each other up, let each other know that we're so beautiful. Poly women, we are the most beautiful. And I do think we go through a lot. And just get yourself that good support system, get some healthy outlets, and just realize, like, everyone is going through something, so just show a little love, a little kindness to everybody. And I think hype each other up too, and you see someone doing good, I think you should hype them up, because people who thrive and doing well, like, they are struggling with stuff as well. So give them that little confidence boost, let them know they're doing amazing, they look amazing, they're they're just amazing in general. And so, and then I also want to say thank you so much, Will. For real, I'm so honored. Like, thank you so much for interviewing me and just having me on here and being amongst all the amazing Polynesian men and women that you interview. I think this platform is incredible, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And like I said, everybody, have a blessed day. I'm gonna go ahead and press the stop button. I'm gonna talk to you right after. Okay, I'm gonna start recording.